That precedent?
Yes.
hmm You know, I realize that I'm not the only named respondent in dissolutions of marriage.
Yeah.
Hmm. In fact, I'm not the only father that had five children that were named as the minors named.
Yeah.
But these precedent-setting court decisions in an earlier case with facts and law similar to the dispute currently before a court,
Yeah.
precedents will ordinarily govern the decision of a latter
Yes.
similar case, unless a party can show that it was wrongly decided or that it is different in some significant way. Some precedent is binding,
hmm
meaning that it must be followed. Only precedents you need not be followed by the court, but can be considered influential.
Yes.
Now, of all the dissolutions of marriage in each and every state of the United States, mhm, I just wanted to know how many of them didn't have to have proof of service to the respondent.
Yes.
hmm Didn't have to put on the public court record the settlement conference setting hearing.
Yes.
See, I can go through each of the settlement conference setting hearings
hmm
of every dissolution of marriage
Yes.
in every state. And without proof of service that the respondent did know that it was going to take place,
Yeah.
it's fraudulent to have the settlement conference setting hearing.
Yes.
Now, usually,
hmm
when you respond to a dissolution of marriage
Yes.
because of the summons, the individual that didn't want the divorce or didn't like the conditions of the original petition for dissolution of marriage,
Yeah. hmm
they'd oftentimes want to get notice of court hearings so they could explain to the judge why they're homeless,
Yes.
why they can't pay that much child support,
Yeah.
why they disagree with the parenting plan or the custody order,
Yes.
the holidays,
hmm
the weekends. Right. And I was one of those fathers that did respond.
hmm
Now, oftentimes when you don't care about your children,
Yes.
you're kind of like, well, just give them to her. Yeah, whatever she wants.
hmm
hmm But for the parents
Yes.
that do care about their children,
hmm
I think responding to a dissolution of marriage says a lot about the want of the individual parent to be involved in their children's lives.
Yes. Yes.
Now, on September 4th of 2013, 2012,
Yeah.
you set a settlement conference setting hearing for December 31st of 2012. And my wife didn't want me to be there
No.
because she could have served me at any time at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road.
Yeah.
And as much as she says that she loves my sons, poop, I would say that she doesn't.
hmm hmm
See, any parent that intentionally obstructs another parent from being able to communicate with the judge
Yes.
really doesn't love my sons.
Yeah.
And of the emails that I've sent and the years of torture that I've had to go through,
Right.
I want you to take into consideration the thought of the petitioner not loving the minors named. Now, this love that you say is of no importance when it involves the paying of child support
Yes.
is not just the responsibility or the obligation of the parent.
Yes.
It's this idea of the betterment of their individual child's lives.
Yes.
You know, how the money's going to be spent. Now, as a dad,
Yes.
I did respond to the petition for dissolution of marriage.
Yes.
And I did give you quite a few pages of documentation.
hmm
And I did write that response as a narrative of what we had experienced as a family.
Yeah.
And my wife decided to motion the court for default dissolution of marriage,
Yes.
knowing I had responded. And then my wife decided to cancel the children in the middle class so that I couldn't complete it within 60 days. Then my wife decided that you would issue a notice for the conference setting hearing
Right.
and that you would issue a temporary order for child support,
Yes.
making sure that I didn't get notice of the court hearings
Oh.
and that I couldn't have anything to say. Now, this abusive use of domestic violence and child abuse,
Yeah.
As a dad, I wanted you to understand as a court, yes, that every time my wife violated the laws, yes, so as to have custody of my sons, yes, mhm, it really illustrated, right, her love for them did not exist. Ouch! Now, when I consider my love for my sons, yes, I am one of those fathers, yes, that will want to look at all the precedent setting cases, yes, then going through each and every dissolution of marriage, yes, from the form that was petitioned the court, yes, to the actual form that was issued from the court in the jury trial or the non jury trial. Yeah, yeah. And if I see a significant difference because somebody thought, yes, as soon as he responds, we'll change the form so the judge won't know. I will sue you for every fraudulent dissolution of marriage in the United States of America. Okay. Now that'll be another $100 billion. Yes. For every time I find, yes, that any judge issued a dissolution of marriage, yes, where the original response to the petition for dissolution of marriage was different than the petition for dissolution of marriage that was issued by the judge. Now, there's this thought that once you issue a dissolution of marriage, yes, that school districts don't have to have the response from the respondent. No. Mm-mm. That you can serve a dissolution of marriage on every doctor, yes, that has any restraint provisions. Right. You can serve a dissolution of marriage on every dentist, orthodontist, yes, oral surgeon, yes, all medical practitioners, yeah, any law enforcement, and you do not have to include the original respondent's response to the dissolution of marriage. Now, I'm guessing, yes, that this is going to be one of those huge lawsuits, yes, that never again will you be able to serve a dissolution of marriage without including the respondent's response to the original petition for dissolution of marriage and all supporting documentation so that every civil rights coordinator can read what the father had to say. Yeah! And can have the supporting documentation on why they made that declaration of the narrative of the marriage. Yes, we can. Now, somehow I think, yes, he is, that we're going to change a whole bunch of laws so that any fraudulent dissolution of marriage that is issued so as to have custody of the children, yes, will always include the response from the respondent that was denied the custody of the children, so that any individual in any form of government of this nation will know for sure.